Well, it's great to have the afternoon slot here, starting right after lunch. So my goal is to get everyone back engaged in the conference here. This is my third trip in the last couple weeks. I was in Cologne, Germany a few weeks ago at the Mexico talking about connected, the Internet of all things. Earlier this week I was in Mumbai talking about the future of media and trying to stay ahead of that. And today talking about second screen and storytelling. So I'm really excited to share about storytelling and second screen and try and bring it to life in a very simple way. What we've done here in Turkey is we've done a program on Samsung, which I'll share with you, but we're talking a lot about technology, ad tech in the world. We're talking about mobility and what's going on there. And we're all trying to catch up with what's going on with the technology and the consumer. What's really interesting in terms of trying to catch up is slowing down for a minute. And that's what I'm going to do today. What I'm going to do is walk you through the what, why, and how. A simple way to get through today's thing. The what's going on will be a simple dive into what we're doing with second screen. The why is some insight in terms of why it's making sense to the consumer, and the how is a quick run through in terms of how we're doing it. So I'm going to start with a little bit of what. We do a lot of research in terms of trying to understand consumer experiences and engagement. And I think the first thing you have to realize in terms of second screen is the people that are really consuming it and consuming it most often is the younger generation. We know this globally. We have a youth panel that goes across 10 different countries. We study it. And for this presentation, we asked the question, what's going on in terms of second screen usage? It used to be not too long ago, we talk about multitasking. You know, you're doing one thing while you're watching the TV, but that's not really what's happening with the youth generation. The youth generation is using second screen, and really that's becoming mobile and the mobile device to really engage and get deeper engagement. And the what is going on is followed by the why are they doing this? And so for any brand, we're often trying to uncover core needs, human insights, and there's really four key insights in terms of what's driving this behavior, this second screen behavior. The first one is a simple curiosity. The mobile device as a second screen allows people to get deeper engagement, to go look, to understand things, so when they're watching something, they can dive into something and experience something much more richer. And an insatiable curiosity with these millennials or this youth generation. The second thing is connectivity. On the second screen, while they're doing this, they're engaging in the communities and they're working that, and that's very important for them. And the third thing that they're doing is they're upskilling. They're looking at what can I get more, how can I get it deeper, and what's in it for me. So gamification has been talked about this week. Gamification is a big part about this second screen usage in terms of what they're doing. They're looking to go deeper, whether it's an athlete and what his stats are, or whether it's an entertainment and what's getting them excitement, or whether it's fashion, you know, what they're wearing, what's trending. And so the second screen allows them, while they're participating in this, to go a little bit deeper. And then the last one is really core need about recognition, the motivation to be recognized. Again, how do I go there and do I compete? Do I do something more? And you'll see that play out in terms of how we use these core needs to put together programs. So we have the what, we have the why. Now, how do we do it? So I'm going to run you through a quick case study that puts all this stuff together. Kara Para Ask is a show here directed to youth. It's a crime scene genre. And what's the first thing crime scenes want? Well, who did it? Who murdered them? So in a lot of ways, that show presents us a great opportunity to develop, using those insights and core needs, content, and allows us to do it in a very engaging way. What we did is we used our Samsung client, who was coming out with a new S5, and they had four key features. They had dust proofs, they had fingerprinting, they had a new digital camera, and they had an eye tracking device. And what we did is we took those benefits, we worked with the studio that's producing the program, and we put together a story that allows the consumer to go deeper than they could on their TV and use the insights of engagement to really bring this home and to make it much more rich and relevant for them. There we go. So Karapar asked, I talked about the benefits The first thing we did is crime scene investigation. You were able to use a fingerprinting by going on there with your app, which was downloaded, and you were able to get fingerprint clues and really immerse yourself in the storyline. The second thing it did is it used technology that when there was an audio or love scene, you were able to go to your health and check your heartbeat. The third one was when they were walking in sports, you're going to the S Health, and you're able to track your heart rate monitor. And the last one I talked about, instead of passive, you're able to use your camera to go and detect things. So it was using the benefits, creating the story, and using the storyline of crime scene investigation to go ahead and make this meaningful come to life. And when we talked about upskilling, when we talked about engagement, it used the techniques of trivia, polling, quizzes, and then put a top score. People wanted to know, how am I doing in terms of my crime scene solution versus others? It became social in terms of the way people were doing it against one another. And so if we go back to what is the second screen, how do we make it more relevant, how do we make it more engaging, it was trying to find these insights and tie them to technology to make that storyline come to life. Importantly, from a media perspective, we wanted to be able to work with the content producers on specific content that they could only get through this app. And in doing so, we worked with the director of the show, and you were able to, if you were online watching this with your mobile device, go see scenes, get clues to actually solve the crime. The biggest thing was making it known to the people through paid media that they could actually use this app to find out who did it before anyone else. And so in pulling all that together, we were able to do a full program that not only took advantage of a big show, used a second screen device, featured the benefits of the phone, and then did it in a much more engaging way. The results speak for themselves. We had over 50,000 people download the app. The target was 35,000 people. Only 150,000 people were actively in our target zone watching that, so almost half of them downloaded and participated via the app. The app, in terms of the Turkish market, became a top 10, 4.5 stars out of 5. It became that because it was relevant, it was news, it was engaging, and it was done in a very insightful way. And lastly, if you look at the earned media impressions, not just the paid, it delivered in terms of both effectiveness and efficiency. So what's the learning here? The learning is that there's a lot of technology out there. We're all getting our heads around that. We're all chasing different things, whether it's mobility, whether it's social, whether it's programmatic, but you have to make meaning out of this. And the way to start with meaning is go to your consumer, tie the consumer in with what you're trying to do for the brand, create the experience that draws the immersion and the engagement, and then think differently, work differently in a very entrepreneurial way to bring content, context, technology, all to life. And if you want to win with the millennial generation or youth, you have to be able to do this. It's no longer good enough to have a 360-degree marketing program. It has to be 365 days. It has to be immersive. And if you do that, and if you do it right, you'll get the results that we've seen for the Samsung phone. On a last note, in terms of why is this important and where is it going to go, we're seeing hyperconnectivity. It's only increasing. I think what everyone's trying to do is keep up with this pace, the pace of technology, the pace of people, this velocity, if you will, in terms of how things are changing. But it's going to be able to do this in partnership with others. SMG can't do this without having a great product from Samsung. We can't do this without our apps, partnerships, and the technology people that make this. We can't do this without having more engaging partnerships with the people that produce the content. But this is the future of marketing. This is the future of storytelling, and it's a really exciting place, and it's why being in the media business and being in this technology, this ad tech environment, we're reinventing things every day. So I thank you for your time, your attention, and really exciting, and hope to be back if you have any questions on the panel. So thank you very much.